Hey, now it's Brace for Impact, and I'm your host, Mike Gilbert, and I'm going solo on that ass, but it's still the same. We're talking TNA wrestling. Give me just a second, guys. I'll be with you in just a moment. Um, I gotta go grab something, and then I'll be right back here. I'm gonna play you a song. I'm gonna play you guys a song while I go do something.
This is my destiny. It is the truth I seek. In this world I find a way to cross the line.
Hey, Billy.
Everybody's doing what everybody's doing. Everybody's doing the same thing. I be doing what I be doing. I be doing my thing. The world spins round to the right, they say. I'll be spinning the other way. Doing what I can, doing what I know. The world's my stage and I'm the show. It is my destiny. It is the truth I see. In this world I find a way to cross the line.
all right, that's enough of that. I was toying around with the the AI thing again, and I made a country version of TNA Cross the Line, and it's really designed to only make myself laugh. And mission accomplished, folks. Mission accomplished. But yes, this is Brace for Impact. I'm your host, Mike Gilbert, and I'm going solo on that ass, but it's still the same. We're talking TNA wrestling, and well, the awards have been finalized. The winners have been chosen by you, the fans. Millions and millions and millions upon votes were casted, and my awards are not worked for sure. They did have the TNA awards. TNA did their own awards. I'm sure they didn't have as many votes as me, but but my votes were real. No fake voting. I do think that we need to launch an investigation into some of the voting machines that they used, because I think they had millions of illegal votes casted. Because it seemed like the winners for them were awfully convenient. To say the least, awfully convenient. Billy says, "Are the TNA awards worked?" I'm just saying they're a little convenient. If you think about it, let's go and get into the X Division Wrestler of the Year being Mustafa Ali, who has not been on television since July. A little convenient that he was available that Thursday night at center stage to accept the award, and it very clearly looks like he's coming back. So, in fact, he actually did a thing on Twitter. He actually did a thing on Twitter, a really good thing on Twitter, but it seemed like it was filmed by TNA, honestly. But he did a little gimmick on Twitter where he was like he pulled a gun on somebody, and I think I'm actually gonna pull this up, where he pulled a gun on somebody, or one of his security guards did, like some lady that was offering him a contract, and he gave her a contract and said, "This is what we're gonna do in 2025." And when he accepted the award, he said that he wants to be the X Division champion again. So he's very clearly coming back. Basil Mahmood, the TNA photographer, was there when they filmed the vignette, clearly, because he's got a big TNA logo on this picture that he posted of Mustafa Ali holding his X Division award with the security guards in the back that are very clearly probably TNA extras. Like, the whole thing was filmed by TNA, it looks like. Let's see. Here, I'm going to let you guys be the judge of this. I'm actually going to play this bad boy. Because I'm pretty sure this whole thing was I'm pretty sure this whole thing was filmed by TNA. Let me make sure the volume's up. Okay, volume's up. All right, I'm going to play Mustafa Ali's post. He said, "We don't negotiate. We're on the way." This is very good.
And you're late.
Well, that's not possible.
How so?
See, I don't wear a watch because I decide what time it is.
Okay, let's get down to business.
Of course. Ladies first.
Here's the proposal for 2025.
I'm sure you did an excellent job on this. But I've decided this is what we'll be doing.
No, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane.
I've been told it's a little bit both.
No. There's no way. There's no way that we can.
Look, they just put a gun on her.
Listen, there are a lot of good people waiting on me. Quit fucking around.
Leave a deal.
And you got Mustafa Ali.
All right, that's enough of that. I thought that was very good. He's good at this stuff. Let's see. Billy says it's Missa Jar Jar Binks, Missa Kate, indie wrestler. Okay, and yeah, still got the retribution mask. So, but yeah, so it looks like Mustafa Ali. If that doesn't tell you that he's back, I don't know what does. He is he won the X Division Wrestler of the Year, despite not being in the company since July. And they filmed the whole thing, and he took all the pictures, and he said that he wants to win the X Division title again. So, and I looked at his schedule. His schedule's open for Genesis, so I would assume that he's coming back there. Now, is he going to come back as a heel or a babyface? I don't know. Like, that vignette tells me that he's a heel. I mean, his security guards pulled a gun on a lady, and threatened her. But I'm excited for him to come back. I thought he did a great job in 2024. He should be a welcome addition to the company. They could use the help with all the departures going on. And Masha versus Jordynne winning the match of the year. That's a little suspect to me. I thought that was a good match, but I thought there were several other matches that were better. And I think that they probably didn't want, they wanted to make sure that it was, at least one of their stars in 2025 getting that recognition. So I thought those two awards were suspect. Everything else was like pretty what you would think that they would be. But we're not here to talk about the TNA awards. We're going to be talking about the Brace for Impact awards. But I'm also going to talk about some 2024 year in review, and I got some bold predictions for 2025. Plus, I have I'm analyzing the pay-per-view numbers from 2024. I got all the numbers here. Got them from the Observer, but I'm trying to explain them in a way that Dave does not explain them. So I got that for you. But first, let's talk about Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace, TNA perennial TNA champion, former champion. She is very clearly one of the great TNA knockouts of all time. Is set to finish up with the company following TNA Genesis on January 19, 2025. According to Fightful Select, Grace's contract, originally set to expire in mid-2025, was amended earlier in the year to end sooner. Her final appearance will see her take on Tessa Blanchard in what is expected to be a show-stealing match. Following Genesis, Grace will officially become a free agent, and everybody's already expecting her to be WWE bound. WWE has wanted her for a long time, and she would be free to appear at the Royal Rumble should she sign with WWE, which I think we all expect her to do. So that was the latest news. So I thought that we were gonna get her in San Antonio for the live episode. But if Sean's report is true, that does not appear to be the case, despite the fact that she has been advertised for that event. I'm gonna go ahead and lean on her probably being there. Like I could see her doing the Genesis match and then like the farewell being at the live taping. But it wouldn't shock me if Genesis was the last time we saw her. So if that's the case, that that's a little bit disappointing that we don't get to see her in San Antonio for the live Impact to do a proper farewell. But she's pretty close with the folks over at Fightful. Like they seem to get all of the news on Jordynne Grace pretty quick and before everybody else, and it's usually pretty accurate. And it's never one thing where she like is out there disputing what Fightful says. So I get the feeling that it's correct. But I just find it curious that she was advertised for that event. So it wouldn't shock me if she would still be in San Antonio. But it was very peculiar how that story came out, and it was very specific about Genesis being her last night in the company. So I don't know what to make of all that. I don't know what to make of it. But we'll just have to monitor the situation, because I don't know, man. That's weird to me that she wouldn't also do the tapings in San Antonio. That's weird to me. I don't know. I would expect her to do the tapings in San Antonio, but she might not. And she doesn't know. Well, TNA has got to move on. I think Genesis will mark the beginning of like the next season of TNA. The upcoming episodes that we're gonna see starting next week they feel like ancient memories now, because a lot of the roster that's on there is not going to be there going forward. So many people finished up with the company during the Atlanta tapings, which we've already talked about. So go back to the archives. We've already talked about all that. But so many people were finishing up with the company. A lot of the people that were there in Atlanta are not going to be there in Dallas. And then it looks like more people are going to be finishing up in Dallas. So it's going to be the turnover is going to be real, and it's probably all going to start shaking out in like February is when we're going to be like, this is what the roster is going to look like. Billy has a good point. This take December off stuff needs to change in 2025. I agree. They take the last 2 weeks of December off every year because they're afraid of ratings, like significant ratings drops. But this year they were not on Christmas. They were not on Christmas Eve. It would have been the day after Christmas. And NXT on Christmas Eve was up. And I've been trying to tell, like, people watch TV on holidays. If you give them something to watch, the audience will be there for it. And AEW was on Christmas night. And I'll be honest, like, their TV show was nothing but matches. It wasn't really all that interesting. It was a good show, but it wasn't like they didn't really have any angles or anything. Like, it was just matches. And they were just slightly down. So they were like, everything was like pretty much up. NFL on Christmas Day, like during the day, 27 million average. And NBA ratings were up. Like, people are at home watching TV. And I've been saying this for years. It makes me sick to my stomach to see them take off Thanksgiving. And I'm not talking about them going live on Thanksgiving. Anybody who thinks that I'm saying that is a stupid moron. And there's a couple of people on Twitter that said, well, you want them to work on the holidays? Nobody's asking them to work on the holidays, dum-dums. They tape the show. It's weeks in advance, right? NXT and Dynamite were both taped this week. Dynamite was taped on Sunday. NXT was taped the week before. and the ratings were fine. NXT, in fact, was up. Dynamite down very slightly. They did about like a normal number that they would do. I've been saying that for years, and nobody wants to listen. I think that either TNA is afraid that they can't do a number on those nights, or they're just being lazy, right? Like and look, you want to just give your people time off, that's fine, but look at what happens at the end of the year every year. Whatever momentum that they have, they typically lose. And the roster turnover is so dramatic at the end of the year because of the way they do the contracts, that what you see for the January pay-per-view is often very different than what you see from the December show. So the whole thing is weird. Like, why are you doing 2 weeks of an award show? So I just don't understand it. Like, they taped in early December. They could have added one more TV taping to the mix. That way they wouldn't have to take off so much time, and it wouldn't have been a burden to anybody. Nobody would have been burdened by it. In fact, I look at most of the roster works indies. They were working indies last week. They weren't taking time off. Like, I'm sure some of them were spending Christmas Day with their family, but no one's asking them to work Christmas Day, right? The only people that work Christmas Day are retailers, Starbucks, and obviously NFL and basketball. Like, that's it. I'm not asking them to go live on Thanksgiving every year. I'm not asking them to go live on Christmas. I'm just saying don't take all those weeks off. You lose whatever momentum you had. It's completely gone. And right now the company has momentum. I would like to see them continue to have some momentum. But yeah, I definitely think that they need to adjust the schedule to add extra tapings in 2025.